Hello boys, Cool Yoshi here, and welcome back to my Super Mario 3D All-Stars 100% playthrough. Currently continue with Super Mario 64. We were able to essentially collect all the stars available in this basement, and now we're able to go through a lot of other stuff. So we're going to be starting off this part by going into Dayu Docks and Bowser in the Fire Sea. I actually have tried to get stars other than the first star early, since you could technically get some of them without the sub being gone and still have it work. However, the sub, I found out, doesn't actually despawn until Bowser in the Fire Sea is completed. So that means before we can actually completely 100% this level, we first have to move the water back. So that means we're going to be going into the second Bowser level very early. That being said, there also are a couple of problems with this. So, one big problem that I don't like is when... Oh, jeez. I'm gonna... I think it'll be easier if I just do it this way. So this level is the one reason why I unlocked all of the stuff very early on in the game, because I needed this to unlock a different thing later. So I kind of lied. We're not going to actually get adding a lot of the stars right away. Unfortunately, we'll have to do the Dayu Docks star a little bit later, but before I do anything, there are a couple of stars I do want to get right away. One of them is down here, because a single problem that happens is if you try to get some of these stars after Bowser's sub has been completely destroyed and or cleared or whatever, you could potentially be thrown out of the jet stream and into a completely different level entirely. Which, in case you didn't missed one of the other parts, it essentially sends you outside the princess's castle again. So you have to go back in there, and it takes about a minute to get back into the level. It's even more brutal during the 100 coins mission, where we absolutely have to go down there at least a couple of bits. It's a really annoying spot that many people remember. Like, there's essentially a mysterious hole that will open. Do not go into that hole, it'll send you back. And I just remembered that this level actually has a worser set for the number of coins in the level than the other level I mentioned earlier, which was Hazy Ice Cave. Hazy Ice Cave is still the most obnoxious of the 100 coins missions, but it is nothing compared to what is coming up in Dayu Docks. I believe Dayu Docks is the one that I mentioned that actually has the lowest coin count. Which is just absolutely brutal. Okay, there, I was just checking that. See that door? That'll open later on. Which sort of acts as a mini jet stream that will pull you into Bowser's face or whatever. And then you'll get sent out the side if you are unable to get stuff, which could be rather annoying. But before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and collect the 2 easy stars here. By getting our caps so early on in the game, we're able to use them to essentially go through a wall and also go for a series of rings on the ground there to let you essentially collect and get those 2 stars for absolutely free. And then once we collect this next star, we're going to take a big break because we won't be able to do much for a while anyway. So we get to do this thing again, except this time we actually have to make it to the sub. So now we're actually going to board the sub. Now, like I said, there's a good reason for not wanting to do this super early, because it can be rather annoying to do without prior timing. And again, in case anybody missed it, I'm playing on a Super Mario 3D All-Stars version of Super Mario 64, which is on the Nintendo Switch. One of the newer remakes, essentially remakes of 3 of the best Mario games ever created. There are several ways to get onto the sub, by the way, including a couple of trick ways as well. I'm going to show the intended path, which is kind of difficult if you don't know what you're doing. Essentially, you have to trigger this hidden path, and using it, you can get onto the sub to get your star, which is this. Thankfully, it's actually fairly straightforward, though I have messed it up before. So you use that path to get on top, and then you could go and get the star. That way, and from there you're able to do that. And then once we collect that star, the water moves back, allowing us to enter the second Bowser level in Bowser in the Fire Sea. This time Bowser not really having much to greet us with. I'm not going to collect any of the extra ice because I already gotten 26 lives. Oh my gosh, geez, already. Well, I'm going to have to be a little bit more rushy on this level because I wasn't able to catch up to the platform very well. The only good news is you don't instantly... This is one of the only levels where you do not instantly die in this Bowser level if you get all the way to the end. So it's pretty straightforward. Beyond that, though, there's actually still a lot of stuff that could be done that make it really difficult. Don't be fooled by this, though. Just because it doesn't immediately kill you doesn't mean it's still challenging. If you fall into any of the middle part, you won't be able to get back, most likely, and it'll most likely be instant death. So we still have to take our time for this, just like before, but I will say Ed seemed to tone down the difficulty on this one quite a little bit, but I probably should have said that because I've seen a lot of people die on this level. It is very hard to do. And again, it becomes more trickier, especially when you're trying to go for the red coins. Particularly if you miss one, it can be really tough to go back. Okay, so there you kind of saw a red coin down there, and you're wondering how to get to it. This is one of the troll red coins. You essentially have to make the platform go up without you, which I just did, and then fall off of it on purpose, which will allow you to get that red coin. It is possible to get that and potentially get warped back up to the top, but it is very tough to do, so in our case, we have to take the platform twice. Once to get it out of the way to get the coin, and once more to actually get up top. And then from there, we could actually continue the level. This is not necessarily an easy level. There's mostly death everywhere where we go, so we still have to be pretty precise. This in particular is probably my least favorite part, just because of the way that thing moves. It could take a while to actually get that going. The only good news is that lava gets counteracted by a lot of stuff. The main thing being there's so many coins in and throughout this level that you can heal quite a bit as you go through it. Anyways, going on to the next part. This part is kind of annoying if you're trying to go fast because it runs on a cycle. If you're too slow, you'll have to wait here for it to rise up before you could do that. And when it's risen up, you could potentially slide down one of those slopes, which kind of sounds kind of strange, but yeah, that's happened to me, and that's happened to a couple of other people as well. Okay, now we get to the actual hard part, which is multiple of the lava pillars, and not quite as much of a safety spot to wait this time. Again, we are going to use the lava safety trick to just barely avoid the lava. If you're going for this fast, though, it's very hard to do this quickly and not get it. Okay. Just finish that off. Okay, I'm gonna actually go for the wall kick strategy. There's two different ways of doing this. There's one strategy where you don't have to do a wall kick, and then there's one where you can do a wall kick. That other one is probably a little bit harder to do, but I recommend doing that other one. Okay. This is the part I always get wrong with this red coin mission, is I can never tell where the last red coin is. I know where all the 7 other ones are from simply redoing the level so many times, but... yeah, but it's just really brutal. It does help that the camera was being kind of awkward there. Now, if you do want an extra safety, if you ever die during any of the Bowser fights, you don't immediately go back to the side area, you go back to the beginning. And there's plenty of repeat hearts that can be collected to get back up to full health, so you don't have to worry dying if you know where those are, but otherwise it's a pretty difficult level altogether. Oh, jeez. I was able to do this so well all of a sudden, and now we're just bonking everything. Okay. I'm gonna do the wall kick strategy for this. Jeez, I just walked off and J again. Oh, I'm trying to jump. I know I can jump. Okay. Wow, so there is nothing there. Good gravy. Now the only way of knowing where the next coin is to either head to the right and find nothing or head back in. I don't want to do this, so we're gonna actually have to take an intentional death, and if we can, figure out where the red coin is, because usually I'm good at remembering the red coins from the speedrun, but yeah. Well, I guess since we got a couple of extra lives, that helps. And yes, that was intentional, by the way, because there's no point in continuing on further if I already missed a red coin. Still haven't done this part perfectly. At least I was able to do that part correctly. Alright. Probably the worst of the red coins is right here. It's so funny how I was able to remember the troll coin that it's kind of just hidden, where you essentially have to go to the right to get in an awkward spot. I don't really remember what's in most of these spots. That's what I was expecting. That's part of the reason why I don't always rush these games, is because that I usually mess up when that happens. I will say, oh, this is a pretty challenging game for being on the N64, and oh, wait a minute, I just realized where it is. Ah, I'm an idiot. You don't see that coin half of the time, too, which is what makes it so annoying. Okay, at least I didn't take fall damage there that time. Okay, well, I guess now I know if I get up to 4 coins before getting into this platform, I know that I've gotten all the coins. Again! And this jerk is in the worst spot possible. Could you just move away? Ah. Okay, never mind. I got around him that time. Bully was in one of the worst spots possible. See what I mean? They turn into slopes and Mario's movement is slightly slowed down by them, which is kind of annoying. Very annoying. Okay, so here's the annoying thing. That one coin that I forgot there. I forgot that same coin the last time I did this run and had to remember where it was. Oh, great. This is the problem. This is what I mean by if you don't take your time on that, you just die. I'm just trying to land on the itty bitty part, as you might have already guessed, but didn't land on it, of course, so insta F. Now we have to go back to the beginning again. Tried to dive over there to make things a little fast, because... Oh, jeez. Sure, I'll wait for this. I meant to do a long jump there. I hate that I did not get... The annoying thing about this whole level is that I was able to get to the end of it on my first try, yet I'm unable to actually complete it when it matters, collecting all the 8 red coins. I kinda just went for that. Oh, jeez. Ah! My goodness! See, I told you! This is why that level's so hard. Even though it's not supposed to have instant death, there are so many ways you could just get chained into the lava to get instant death so many times in a row. I hate this level so much that I'm gonna completely skip this entire section. I don't care how long it takes. Okay. That's what I was trying to do the last time. Alright. That's the problem, man. And fail happened in the same way, too. Oh, as the other fails did. I got caught off by not getting a long jump where I wanted it to be. And then I just missed my jump and I got taken out by the lava. That's what's called the rapid fails, or tilting in this case. I don't want... it's not happening just yet, but... Generally, after you fail once, it's really hard to get back into your groove again, and you start tilting by messing up over and over and over again. Then by the end, you figure out that you've wasted an hour on one level because you just simply can't do one part right. Now, there are worser stuff than this, by the way, that could be dealt with. But, man, I will say there are much worser things that can happen in this. One of the worst is getting stuck on, like, one of the hardest levels in the game. In one of the other games. Nearly got it this time. And a bounce killed me. I couldn't even get up. That's why I say that part is so terrible. And see, I never should have mentioned this. Now I'm tilting like a bad person. And since this game doesn't have copy saves, I can't remove it. So, like I said, all this fail you are sealing at the very beginning. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, at least I'm able to get past that part consistently, but it seems like I always, ever since I failed that first part, I've been, like, tilting as to how to actually get it going. And that part in particular is the one reason why the red coin mission makes this level so much more difficult, because if you were doing it normally, you would just skip that and head somewhere else instead, but yeah, like if you were going for a 16-star run instead of a star run, you would just skip that completely and not even have to worry about it. No point in really taking that dodge there, since the art will just refill it back up anyway. Mostly just a time waste than anything else. I'm starting to go a little bit faster in the sections that I know how to do simply because I want to be able to actually finally do this level. There we go. Sheesh, why couldn't I do that when it mattered most? I was able to do that 2 times in a row the last time pretty easily, and then just for some reason just failed like crazy all of a sudden. Keep in mind, in terms of normal gameplay, this is supposed to be the easiest of the Bowser levels simply because of not having any real depth whatsoever other than the lava. Other than probably this part right here. Simply because there's a lot of lava. But even then, if you take your sweet time, you shouldn't really be dying here. Well, I'm tired of dying on this start. So since I died here once, I'm gonna wait. I believe the way the setup works, you can usually get at least 2 platforms in if you're quick enough. Sometimes 3 if you're really good. So in that case, I can go to the end. See there, now I was able to finally do that. Hey, we're finally at the pole section again. Does that mean we're finally going to be done with this? Okay. Oh wait, no, I may have forgotten something again. Are you kidding me? It's probably because of going through so much of the level that I've completely forgotten about the... Well, I do want to still practice this level, so you know what? I am gonna go backwards to figure out where that coin is, but we're gonna have to do this backwards. Ugh. Once you start falling into the lava is when it gets really annoying. Okay. Get my health back. Oh. Oh, okay. That's not as far back as I was expecting it. That's one where you literally forget about because it's like you picked up that coin at once before the other part, but then you completely forget about it. It's not as far back as I was initially expecting, so... I guess that wasn't as slow as it could have been. It's still pretty slow. We're gonna jump to make this. Yeah, okay, we were able to make it pretty easily there. Though it was also pretty close. Nice cycle here as well. Whenever these platforms are up, it helps out a lot. I don't care about taking damage for him. I'm only more worried about the lava. Okay, so that took a little bit longer than expected. Had everything gone my way, this level could easily be done in less than maybe 2 minutes or so, if you're asked. And I know a lot of speedrunners that have done this really good, because I've been watching them quite a bit. But anyways, we finally got the start here, which means we can finally go towards Bowser. We'll just lawn jump all the way over there and... take a few tries to get in there, and now we fight Bowser again, only this time he shakes the floor whenever he pounds. Thankfully, this does have a consistent setup. Spam jump here, then get behind him, and you can, or fast, you can hit him right at the start. And he starts spewing more flames this time, and also teleporting. The most annoying thing about this is waiting for him to do an attack other than the teleport. Teleport. There we go, finally. Okay. Oh, wow, I failed the jump there. Just because the actual level is tough doesn't mean the Bowser's not tough either. This Bowser's a little bit more harder, and I haven't really mentioned this, but the reason why Bowser is one of the worst fights is single-handedly because of this mechanic right here. You have to throw him so that he lands exactly into one of the rocks, which I believe, in terms of frames, if you're counting that, is like a free frame window to get each one of those, and if you are unable to hit him using that, it takes a long time for him to recover. The third fight is the worst because you have to get it when at him 3 times in a row. That's what makes that fight single-handedly the worst fight. Can it be that I've lost? The power of stars has failed me this time. Consider it a draw. Next time I'll be in perfect condition. If you want to see your precious success, come to the top of the tower. I'll be waiting. Sorry if we skipped Bowser's dialogue. It was mostly because I wanted to get out of this dang level, man. But we're out of here. It took a lot longer than it needed to. I think that was about 10 minutes compared to what could have happened. But anyways, by clearing that, we're able to actually unlock all the other stars here. So we'll start with Chest in the Current and Manta Ray Star first, just to get them out of the way. And then once we do that, we'll be able to finally go for the 100 coin star. And this, as you might have guessed, the rings are kind of janky. The game doesn't really tell you whether or not you've gone through them fully or not. It's just really brutal star altogether. And now that we've skipped this a couple of times, but now that we're actually playing the level, a couple of annoying things will make this level a little bit difficult. Particularly the, just barely missed that. There we go. We missed like all 4 of them like 2 times. So now we have this whirlpool thing to deal with. That's one of the suck things I mentioned, the slightly more annoying one. Not necessarily the annoying one that sucks you out into the princess's castle, but mainly the one that, wait a minute. I'm doing this really weird again, aren't I? Oh yeah, that whirlpool, by the way, that I mentioned, that's instant death. So do not get that. It's not necessarily easy to do this level either, too, because there's some chests you have to get. If you're playing as a beginner, there's no tell which chest will actually be the correct one. Well, the first chest set is generally not that difficult to do. So, once you know what you're doing, getting the final chest is probably the worst part of this entire level, because it's the part where you have to literally go through the middle of the chest to try and open it. It doesn't help that you can't really tell where most of the chests are. Oh wait, did that reset? Yeah, I think that did. Yeah, it definitely reset. Actually, opening a chest correctly, the patterns aren't really that bad. Like, I remember one of the patterns from Jolly Roger. And I remember that hard chest that I talk about on the top has to be opened last. But this is the part where the level gets really hard. Because this current is constantly pulling Mario in. And to get this, you have to essentially ram into the chest while simultaneously swimming against the current. There's no good way to do it, and usually the best way of doing it is to swim directly at the current. Like this. If you miss, which just happened, you'll just fall straight in there and die. That's what only reason why I hate this particular star. The levels before it were not that difficult because we could just skip it and not have to deal with it. But now we actually have to deal with the whirlpool. That's what makes this one level difficult, and why I'm going to try and do that first before I deal with anything else. Of course, now that we've done this a couple of times, we know where the first chest is just based off of the coins, so we'll go ahead and get that out of the way first. Yeah. Jeez, I nearly got stuck in a wall there. It's easy enough to avoid it if you stick to the bottom of this art, but if you do not stick to the bottom, it's very easy to get into that whirlpool. I will say that whirlpool is extremely annoying. Actually getting the correct swim to avoid it is super annoying. Because then you end up pushing just a little bit too much. Either you push little because you don't want to get caught by the current, but then you swim directly into it anyways because the game won't open the chest half of the time. And then when you finally do get a chance to open it, you've already gotten sucked in. Ugh. It's really annoying, as you can see. As annoying as it is, though, swimming against the current is probably our only way to get a good recovery strat going. The most annoying thing about this whole level is the fact that the aim doesn't really give you a good chance to get there. See, look at this. Look at this. I'm clearly hitting the chest, and it is not registering. Does it really care about your specific angle you have to be in to open it? There we go. We finally opened it the way I was trying to do it before. And I know you can open it from the left. It was just... that hitbox is just so stingy sometimes, man. Ugh. Well, now that we're done with that, we finally get to do the slightly easier but also slightly more annoying part. Dire Doc's 100 coin mission. The other obnoxious 100 coin mission in the game. There are probably some other harder ones, but many people do not like this mission as there are very little coins in the level to begin with. And for starters, there's coins hidden like right here on the side where you don't expect them to be. This was made slightly easier in the DS version due to them adding a couple of extra coins and a couple of extra spots that can be picked up for more, but beyond that, you're on your own when it comes to this. I believe there's like only 101 coins or something in this level. It's ridiculous. You don't have much of an option. So like, more than like Hazy Maze Cave, more like the other levels, if you miss any of the blue coins, you have to go back to the beginning. There's no other way to recover it. And some of these coins are not easy to get either. Ugh. It's just annoying. And keep in mind, you have to get almost all of the coins here to get the level completed. Yeah. Okay, at least this one has a consistent strategy for it, but still, having to even deal with the whirlpool at all is super annoying, just because, like, one mistake and you just go straight into it. How are you supposed to dodge it normally? Kind of just go slow and steady and wait for stuff. Here's the Ever Troll one. I think just swimming against the current and let it purposely push me a couple shots there will help me get the coins a little bit more, since Mario mostly automatically floats towards it. Okay, just get all of them. There we go. Once you exit the cave, the mostly difficult part is done, but it's still not done yet. There's blue coins you can mix, there's other blue stuff that can be missed, there's other troll things that can be mixed, and then there's the stinking coin that just decides, oh, we're going to control you. Knowing that, I'm probably not gonna even go into the beach area at all down there where the star could eventually sun. Knowing that that submarine area is open. I'm gonna obviously start the blue and red coin activation so I can get those stars at least spawned in before I do anything down here. A little bit of a hint, by the way. When exiting the area, do not exit that particular area from the left. Left. That is where the big hole is that will just suck you in. It's not easy to avoid, too, because it's like its own current. Just really stupid. Okay, so now we're going to collect all of the coins on the top here. Once you've actually gotten up to the top, it's not too hard to avoid the thing, but this next section we have to do is also really annoying still. This is also one of the longest red coin missions to do normally. It's very brutal, as you can see. You know what? I'll just go backwards, because I don't care, because turning around the camera takes way too long. So, yeah, this is a red coin mission. So now we have to go on these poles to get all the red coins, and I will say it takes both a long time and is really difficult. If you mess up any jump, you're going back into the water and having to start again. Thankfully, because it's also slow, that means it's generally easier. If you try and skip this by doing something else, the way to do it, a star at that point, becomes even more difficult than it already is. Keep in mind, that's not including the fact that there's blue coins that you have to collect over there as well. Which just make it even more annoying than it already is. Like I said, there's like hardly any coins in this area at all, just barely enough for 100. So if you miss any blue coins, you're going back to the start. That being said, I should probably make sure to collect them first, but still also collect them kind of quick. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I guess this is not as bad as getting punished by missing one of these with death, but still, it's very annoying to do properly. Okay, that's a lot better of an angle than I got last time. Alright. Okay, at least now I know how to do that part correctly. Alright. Okay. Well, now we don't have to deal with that part again, so now that that hard part is out of the way, the rest of the level should be pretty easy from here. Just collect all the red coins, spawn the star, then head back down for the remaining coins to get our 100 coin star. Still doesn't make it an easy level though, because like I said, the current can still suck us out, so we have to be extremely careful here. Making sure that we are always at the right spot before jumping. And the next part that we happen to do, the second half of this, is also probably the hardest of the pull sections to do properly, because there's, what, I think like a mid-air pole jump you have to do? It just becomes super annoying. Again, your angle really will help you out here. And you can kind of see it already, how annoying it is. you have to do a mid-air pole jump, but you can't necessarily do it right away or you'll miss immediately. You essentially have to get it to where the pole is coming at you, like here, and then you can do that. So don't be fooled by the you can go early strat. You have to wait quite a bit before you can actually get there. With that, we finally spawned the star, at very least, which gets the hard part of the way. Now we're gonna have to make this quick, so we're gonna swim, and try and get to land as fast as possible. Make sure we're all the way over the right here before we go for the 100 coin, because that thing can still suck us in. Now, heading to the left where we went before is where our last coins are, and collect them all, and that spawns our 100 coin star. And see, just like I told you, 101 coins in this level, so I was actually wrong. Dire Docks does have more. I mean, Hazy Maze Cave has more than I thought. It's Dire Docks that has exactly 101 coins. But the boot coins aren't necessarily hard. It's if you miss any one of them, you essentially have to do the entire level from the beginning. And it's also one of the slowest levels in both a rare playthrough and a speedrun to do while collecting 100 coins. It's just brutal. But now that we've done that, the next part should be much more easier, because again, we're not really punished by death when we mess up any of these, so all we really have to do is get back to the star and jump onto it, which is only one pole jump instead of two, and we can go here and get our star. Alright, Dire Docks has now been completed. And with that, we can finally move back to the regular area of Peach's Castle. Which, by the way, has quite a couple of stars for us to do. But before we do that, we're going to do an exit course trick to get back there quicker. Okay, now, before I forget, I may as well do the slide again to get another secret star. The way this is routed out, you do the slide 2 times in different spots. Once at the beginning to set up your star count so that you can get other stuff, as well as get rid of the annoying timer star right away. And then you essentially do the last one with, Getting a 20, by the way, is not necessarily easy when you're not doing the skip that saves a bunch of time, because it can be rather tricky. Okay, so that gives us a secret star, and with all the other 3 levels done, the only thing left to really do is to head into Jolly Roger Bay, which has quite a bit of stuff to do. The first we're gonna do is not actually a level area in Jolly Roger Bay at all, but a secret instead, which we can do by turning the camera and double jumping until we grab the ledge, and the first one doesn't actually give us what we're looking for. And that toad, by the way, doesn't have anything, so don't even let her attack him. Heading to the second one on the left, we actually reach a secret level entirely. I'm gonna call this level the essential speedrun swim. Because, 1, it can't be done any faster than it already is, and 2, it's pretty cool for speedrun. Because our goal is to collect these 8 red coins and get the star without dying, because if we take too long, obviously, we won't be able to get it. That being said, though, this is probably the easiest secret in the game, because the slide second star can be rather difficult if you don't know how to do it. I'm surprised I was able to beat the timer on my first try. That usually almost never happens to me, so since I got it, I was able to get the harder star and get that out of the way immediately. Pretty quick. So yeah, not really much of a challenge. Just collect the 8 red coins, spawn the star in the middle, and then quickly go around to claim it, and that's about it. One of the easiest secrets in the game. It's mostly, of course, balanced by the fact that this is still in the first area of the game, so they don't expect you to take a long time, but get ready for everything to become really difficult, because starting after this level, levels will become very difficult. Now, before we can do anything, we need to collect these first 2 stars before we're even able to get close to completing the levels. So, first we have to plunder the sunken ship. And this is mostly pretty easy to do. So the idea of how to get this to work is to spawn the eel by moving to the left side, and if you move right into its face for at least a few minutes, and then move backwards, you can get the eel to come out, and then after you lure it out, you can leave the ship, get up top here, and once the eel is spawned fully enough, when you come back to a ship up again, the eel will be out of the ship, which has already been done. Simplest way of doing that is to go down to the ship to find the eel, go back up to the top, and that spawns that. Now we get into a particularly interesting level. Alright. Kinda like how the pattern for these chests is also the optimal pattern that lets you get them as quickly as possible, which saves a lot of time. Alright. I am mashing to try and get to the top as soon as possible because it's possible to skip a lot of the other jumps up here by doing that, and we were able to do that, which is nice. So now we can just jump up here, collect the star, and be on our way. Immediately after that, we move into a slightly more trickier star, particularly dealing with that eel again, except this time we have to seg a star from its back, which is surprisingly a difficult star here, if not the most difficult star here. It's only the second star in, and it's already pretty difficult. Like I said, this game gets difficult really fast. Alright, can I get up here? Yes, I can. Let's go ahead and talk to the bomb so that we can get the cannon prepared. Now, once you've collected the sunken ship one, any star beyond that, the ship will automatically spawn by default, so you don't have to deal with it. But now we have the toughest part of the aim overall. We have to move close enough to trigger the eel to open, which now comes with a specific sound. And the best way of doing it is to just wait on the side, wait for him to go to around the left, and then with a very specific timing, mash to try and get the star from him. If you aren't actually able to get it, you will have a lot of difficulty going through it. And this is the one reason why I hate this star. The moment you ram into him, you get down to HP rather quickly, and you lose a lot of other HP coming down here. So you're essentially given, like, almost one shot to do this, and then that's it. And if you go too slow, he just straight up doesn't come out anymore. That's why I say this star is way more difficult than the other one. It's just really annoying. If you collect this star and then move on to another star, the eel will be permanently out of his hiding spot no matter what. There's no really good way of recovering this once you've failed. Only reliable way I can think of that would make it easier is to simply start it from here instead of down and just mash to get to the eel as soon as possible. Because you can trigger him from above. And this is the way I usually get him. Doesn't help, though, that you're constantly sinking due to the water physics. And see, look at that. That is a very twitchy hitbox you have to get. You literally have to get that while simultaneously getting to that all at the same time. Otherwise, you just die, and it's super annoying. Again, you have to hit the tail part of the star, which is on the edge, without hitting any part of the eel. Otherwise, you just take damage instead. That's why I absolutely hate this star. It's just super annoying to get. And even if you don't die from it, you end up having to reset like 3 times just to try and get it. So since I didn't get my other strategy right, let's try the strategy from the left to right like I did before. Wait for him to get to the side. Then when the star is visible, just try and hit it from there. And there we go. Finally, we got it. And we actually didn't take damage from him this time for once. Goodness. Yeah. That star, in case you're wondering, is not really consistent by any means. It's really annoying to deal with, actually. Okay, then. So, I'm going to do kind of a mixed strategy here for my next series of stars. Rather than trying to go for one star in particular, I'm just going to go straight for the can right here and hope for the best. If we miss the shot, we'll simply do another thing here. And yeah. And what I mean by that is either the metal cap star or the star in the cove if we miss the first time. Then if we miss again, we'll do 100 coins, because that star in particular that I'm trying to get, the star is pretty precise. You have to get up to the top, which can be really annoying to do sometimes. Oh my gosh, this camera. Okay, we got that at least early on. Had we missed that, we'd probably go up for the backup star, which is just going into the cove since we're so close to it at this point. Alright. So now if we wanted to, we could technically beat Bowser, but we're going for 100%, so we still have to get all the other stuff. Alright. Let's try the cannon shot again, and we're going for 100 coins if we miss it the second time. I was way too low, so I need to be, like, it's a lot higher than you would expect. There we go. Okay, we got on this time. Hold a little bit to the left, and we get the star. Good. Now we don't have to worry about missing that anymore. Alright, now it's time for the 100 coins in this level. It's gonna be rather annoying, but also probably really quick. Once we exit this level, the game will get very challenging again, so probably gonna take our time as per usual. Oh, anyways, this level not quite as annoying to 100 coin as the previous ones, cause it's mostly easy to get the stuff. The one problem here is actually trying to find a lot of the locations of the coins. Particular annoying ones to get in particular are both the ones on the ship and the ones on the clams. While you could get one on the ship to spawn the star, that makes the star spawn really high, so rather than trying to deal with that, we'll get the coins over there first so we don't miss them, and we'll go ahead and collect this red coin as soon as this clam would open. Yep, okay, there we go. Got one of those. Then we'll collect the other red clam coins ones later. If we climb to the top here, there's a red coin on top here. And we can fall down the side area, or I think it was on a different one. We can find 8 coins next to that. Oh, okay. That's kind of a janky ox, but is what it is. Oh, and there I just showed off another tech that I didn't really get to show off much before, the side flip. You don't necessarily have to backflip all of the time. In fact, probably the quickest way of moving around is to do the side flip. Okay, almost did that in one shot. Of course, I wasn't able to get it perfectly because it's pretty tricky. You can't really take your time there since you want to get there before the timer runs out. Okay, I'm gonna do this and this. Dive into the thing. Okay, that gets rid of that problem. So we're gonna get rid of all the red coins on here, even though this is technically the area we're supposed to go to collect the red coins. Simply so that the star does not spawn up here. Because if the star were to spawn up here, that would be kind of tricky. Did I miss one? I don't know. Nope. I keep thinking there's 4. Maybe I already got one so fast that I didn't see it. Alright, well, now that that's done, we get to collect most of the rest of the coins, which are mostly hidden in the water sections around the area. And we kind of just have to get these as we come along. Most of the red coins are hidden in these clams. Now you have to be kind of careful which ones you open, because they always hold red coins, though most of them do. So the main important thing about this is we want to finish this red coin mission with the mission with the red coins down here, simply because we don't want to have the star spawn too high up on the ship. No, we'll just deal with getting the red coin to spawn first. Oh gosh, the current is making me move to the side here. That doesn't help out a lot. We don't necessarily need all the coins here, so we'll just pick up whatever we can pick up on our way there. And then go in here, and this is where most of the rest of the coins will be contained. Jeez, I cannot say stuff correctly. I'm gonna actually do this in 2 sections. First, I'll kill all the enemies and knock down all the pillars. Then once the pillars are out of the way, I'm gonna go for the blue coins once that's done, just so I don't have to worry about them despawning. So to get that, we'll trigger all of these pillars in a row till they're all gone, and also kill all the Goombas. And then we can finally go for the blue coins. There we go! We get our 100 coin star right there. And I did tell you guys that, jeez. I did not want to collect the red coins on the ship last, because this star would spawn too high up. It is possible for the star to spawn too high up. Okay, well now that that's done, the only star left we have to do at this point is to just finish the 8 red coins on the ship and then move on. We could collect a different mission, but just because this red coins mission take a lot longer than the missions, I'd much rather deal with them first. Ah! I'm just gonna do the triple. Triple jump is quite a bit easier to get consistently than in some of the other 3D games. I've had so much more trouble with it in other games. Alright. Still not done yet. Now we actually get the treasure of the ocean cave. And our time is also going to be running short, but I'm gonna finish this star because it's really quick to do. Could have potentially had a lot more time to work with had we not died so many times to Bowser in the Fire Sea, but sometimes stuff just happens like that. Even if I wouldn't have died to that, I probably would have failed to the eel anyways. Like I said, that eel star can be quite annoying. Yeah. Oh, great. I could just do that. Not a big problem. I forget which one's which. Isn't it the last one, right? Yeah, see, okay, I remembered that. I did happen to remember it, but I nearly forgot at the same time, because like I said, it's been a while. Alright. With that star done, that's going to be the end of this episode. So, leave a like if you guys enjoyed this, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue on to the top floor of the Peach's Castle, where the game starts getting way more difficult. As we approach the last floor of the aim, we'll have the hardest secret star in the game, the hardest in the game, and 2 of the hardest levels in the entire game, which just makes it really annoying. So, yeah, leave a like if you guys enjoyed, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.